Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You can be seated. On days when we have a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, I don't give a full sermon because if a student has spent a few months studying and thinking and writing, then it is their turn to give the sermon. So I will simply give a brief introduction to the Torah portion. If you'll turn with me to page, in these big red books, we are on page 52. I want to talk about a serious matter today as I introduce the Torah portion. Tomorrow morning, our men's club and our sisterhood are hosting a brunch, and at this brunch, we will have a couple of people who have dealt with addiction in their families, as well as an addiction counselor. And I think it's important to talk about these things in a synagogue because when people are suffering from addiction themselves or they're watching someone they love suffer from addiction, there can be a lot of shame or a lot of despondency. And I think it's important to say that the synagogue is a safe place to discuss these matters, that I, as your rabbi, would like to provide pastoral care if you're in such a painful situation and also direct you to supportive services. So Noah, Parshat Noach, provides a good opportunity to talk about this. If you'll look at the last line, line 20, on page 52, Noah, the tiller of the soil, was the first to plant a vineyard. He drank of the wine and became drunk, and he uncovered himself within his tent. So Noah took a substance that for many people is a symbol of joy, and they do well with it. They can use it in celebration, but he overdid it. He developed an addiction. And in that addiction, he started acting not like himself, not like the man who had bravely built an ark and saved all of creation in that ark. And it's understandable, it must have been quite traumatic to watch the world be destroyed, how he came to need to self-medicate. So he's drunk. Ham, the father of Canaan, who is Noah's son, one of Noah's sons, saw his father's nakedness and told his two brothers outside. Sometimes as we're watching someone suffer from addiction, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to help them. So Ham goes and asks his brothers for help. But Shem and Japheth took a cloth, placed it against both their backs, and walking backward they covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned the other way so that they did not see their father's nakedness. I suppose you could interpret this one of two ways. One is that sometimes when we're dealing with someone who's suffering from addiction, we don't know what to do, we turn our backs, we can't even look at them. Maybe that would be one interpretation. Another interpretation would be that we try to provide as much dignity as we can and as much help as we can when someone is struck with this illness. When Noah woke up from his wine and learned what his youngest son had done to him, he cursed him. It's not always easy to deal with people who are addicted. They're angry. So if Noah, one of the wise characters in the Bible, needed help to recover from his drunkenness, all the more so us, right? Just ordinary human beings. So again, I'll remind you, if you're challenged by this in your family or with a friend or for yourself, there is a brunch tomorrow. I think it's $7 or $10, not very much. But you can come and you can hear stories of people in the Jewish community that have struggled and survived and are sober. And that's a very hopeful and courageous story, and I hope you'll join us. Or if you have these problems, you can always come and talk to me, and I will try to help. Shabbat Shalom.